Good morning, everybody. Welcome to some Civil War poetry. 7:31 in the morning. I'm going to let you know right now, I did only wake up 20 minutes ago. I did not make coffee as it would have been extremely hot. So, in the interest of not burning my mouth, the coffee was scalding today. Scalding. I'm also going to acknowledge that yesterday I did only read 2 bios, and I said I was going to read 4. Sometimes with this sort of thing, I do just get carried away. So forgive me on that one. Today we're going to skip the usual this day in history and quote, and we're just going to dive on in to the meat and potatoes. 4 bios, 2 poems. I'll tell you what we got coming tomorrow, and yeah, we'll get started. First things first, do like, share, and subscribe. All those fun things. And if you know anybody who likes history or Civil War or likes to put this type of show on in the background while they're doing their work, I think this is great for that. So we have the book it's called Poetry of the Civil War. It is divided into 2 parts, one the blue, one the gray. Each morning I read a poem from either side, do a little comparing and contrasting, just trying to get a feel of the sentiments, the contemporary sentiments, at least poetically, about how people felt about what's arguably the greatest traumatic event in our nation's history. So, yesterday we featured a poem by Herman Melville. He wrote the poem that was Union oriented, as well as a poem by Margaret Junkin Preston, a Southern writer who naturally was espousing a certain pro-Confederate point of view. So Herman Melville lived from 1819 to 1891. Was born in New York City. His education was disrupted several times by bankruptcy and the death of his father. After finally leaving school, Melville found employment as a sailor and as a schoolteacher. His experience as the former served to inspire the majority of his novels, including Teepee, 1846, Amu, 1847, and Marty, 1849. Melville's early work was quite popular, but his audience quickly declined. Moby Dick, 1851, his masterpiece, considered by many to be the great American novel, was a commercial failure. Melville's first collection of poetry, Battle Pieces and Aspects of the War, Civil War Poems, 1866, sold fewer than 500 copies. In middle age, he turned to public speaking and for nearly 2 decades worked as a customs inspector for the city of New York. Friends, if you are some major English buffs, do let me know maybe the correct pronunciations of some of these other novels by Melville. I said Teepee, it's spelled Typee. It could be typey, I don't know. But as far as Moby Dick goes, it's about 500 pages. I'm on page 300, and it is well worth your time. Classic. Margaret Junkin Preston lived from 1820 to 1897. Was born in Philadelphia. Her sisters, Eleanor Junkin Jackson, was the first wife of Thomas Jonathan Stonewall Jackson. Okay. Though Eleanor died during childbirth some 14 months into the marriage. Preston remained close to Jackson. There is some speculation that societal pressures prohibited a marriage. When war broke out, she sided with the Confederacy, much to the displeasure of her father, the Reverend Dr. George Junkin, president of Washington College, a staunch Unionist. Preston was a popular poet in her day and published a number of collections of verse, the most notable being Beechenbrook, A Rhyme of the War, 1865, in which Under the Shade Tree is found. Oh. Wow, there's some connective tissue for you. So Margaret had the hots for her brother-in-law. Interesting. Okay, well, now we will feature the two poets whose words we will read today. Those individuals are George Henry Boker for the blue and a poet known as F.W.D for the gray. George Henry Boker lived from 1823 to 1890. The son of a wealthy Philadelphia banker, was educated at the College of New Jersey, now Princeton University. His first book of verse, The Lessons of Life and Other Poems, was published in 1848, as was the play Kalanos, which launched Boker's career as a playwright. During the Civil War, he turned his talents to the writing of patriotic verse. Boker was also the founder of the Union League Club, an organization dedicated to raising funds for the war effort. His involvement with politics continued after the war as U.S. Minister to Turkey and Russia. Whoa. All right, Mr. Boker. Definitely have a resume there. And as for F.W.D., that was the pen name of Francis Warrington Dawson, 1840 to 1889. Born Austin John Reeks in London, England, Dawson served in both the Confederate Army and Navy. He recorded his wartime experiences in Reminiscence of Confederate Service, 1861-1865. That was later published in 1882. After the war, Dawson became editor of the News and Courier in Charleston. Dawson was twice married, the second time to journalist and memoirist Sarah Morgan, author of A Confederate Girl's Diary, 1913. Okay. What's interesting about Francis Warrington Dawson is that War is his middle name. Also reminds me of other fellow Confederate poet Catherine M. Warfield, whose poem we featured a couple episodes ago. So, something with Confederates and war. So, Mr. Boker's poem today is titled Dirge for a Soldier. I must admit, I have to look up what dirge means. If anyone's out there and could kindly comment, that would be great. And before I start, I do want to just let you know a quick reminder. The poems themselves are copy and pasted in the description below. You will note that the Confederate poem, Only a Private, is just a link out to a PDF of the poem. That one was surprisingly difficult to track down. But anyways, here we go. Dirge for a Soldier. Close his eyes, his work is done. What to him is friend or foeman, rise of moon or set of sun, hand of man or kiss of woman? Lay him low in the clover or the snow. What cares he? He cannot know. Lay him low. As man may, he fought his fight, proved his truth by his endeavor. Let him sleep in solemn night, sleep forever and forever. Lay him low in the clover or the snow. What cares he? He cannot know. Lay him low. Fold him in his country's stars, roll the drum and fire the folly. What to him are all the wars? What but death-bemocking folly? Lay him low in the clover or the snow. What cares he? He cannot know. Lay him low. Leave him to God's watching eye, trust him to the hand that made him. Mortal love weeps idly by. God alone has power to aid him. Lay him low in the clover or the snow. What cares he? He cannot know. Lay him low. Yeah, that one was nice. Again, the Union just has this streak of really poignant words that I think really effectively conveys the heartbreak involved in fighting a war. So that was Dirge for a Soldier by George Henry Boker. We will now switch over to the other side, so to speak. This is called Only a Private by F.W.D. Only a private. His jacket of gray is stained by the smoke and the dust. As Bayard he's brave, as Rupert he's gay, reckless as Morat in heat of the fray, but in God is his only trust. Only a private, to march and fight, suffer and starve and be strong, with knowledge enough to know that the might of justice and truth, of freedom and right, in the end must crush out the wrong. Only a private, no ribbon or star shall gild with false glory his name. No honors for him in braid or in bar. His legion of honor is only a scar, and his wounds are his roll of fame. Only a private, one more hero slain, on the field lies silent and chill, and in the far south a wife prays in vain. One clasp of the hands she may ne'er clasp again, one kiss from the lips that are still. Only a private, there let him sleep, he will need no tablet or stone, for the mosses and vines o'er his grave will creep, and at night the stars through the clouds will peep, and watch him who lies there alone. Only a martyr, who fought and who fell, unknown and unmarked in the strife, but still as he lies in his lonely cell, angel and seraph, the legend shall tell, such a death is eternal life. Only a private, y'all. Oh man, that yeah, I think that I kind of actually had the same sort of cadence and spirit as Dirge for a Soldier. Yeah, just also full of woe, but kind of had a speed to it, a sort of adrenaline. All right. So that was Only a Private by F.W.D. And tomorrow we are going to give you a little sneak peek here. And our Union poem is going to be called The Battle Autumn of 1862. And that is by John Greenleaf Whittier, a poet we featured on the very first episode. So he is now officially a friend of the pod. And for the gray, we will be reading a poem called Ashby by John Reuben Thompson. All right, friends. Remember, just stay safe out there, stay smart, stay respectful of everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow live at 7:30 or not live in the afternoon. Take care.